comes Santa Claus, here comes Santa Claus, right down Santa Claus Lane. Vixen and Vixen and all his reindeers pulling on the reins. Bells are ringing, children singing, all is merry and bright. So hang your stockings and say your prayers, 'cause Santa Claus comes tonight. Here comes Santa Claus, here comes Santa Claus, right down Santa Claus Lane. He's got a bag filled with toys for boys and girls.
If I am to be correct, that means you are tuning into Urban Nerd Weekly. And yesterday, if you are of a religion that celebrates Christmas, then you celebrated Christmas yesterday, and I say Merry Christmas to you. I celebrated Christmas with my family yesterday, and it was smashing. Well, Christmas is always an awesome time of year. I mean, you know, even if you don't celebrate Christmas, Christmas does usually mean lots and lots of parties, time off from school if you're in school, and maybe you get that extra time off of work, you know what I mean? Hopefully, if you have the kind of job that does. I don't. And currently, at the time that you're hearing this episode, I'm about to I'm about to leave to go to work soon, but by the time you hear the episode, I will be already at work. And I was also at work on Christmas yesterday. But I did still enjoy Christmas despite that. What I want to do is to just first open up the show with telling everybody, like, if you're listening to this episode, I'd like for anybody listening to comment maybe, you know, a little tidbit about some of their favorite holiday memories, whether it's Christmas, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, or just, you know, just being on break during that time of year and, you know, getting to relax and chill. Leave that in the comments, either the comments on this post when it's on spacewashere.com, SPAYCEWZHERE. Yeah, that's my website. I'm supposed to, like, never get that wrong, right? But yeah, or you can leave it on the SoundCloud page, soundcloud.com/Urban Nerd Weekly, which you can also subscribe to the show from there if you're not already. And also on Google Play and iTunes as well. Google Play Music and iTunes both have the show feed now, so you can subscribe there as well as comment there, or whatever it is that you like to do when you enjoy things on these here internets. But me, I think this would be an awesome time to share some of my Christmas memories. And another reason why I bring this up is because, you know, Christmas is, like, you know, happy nerd, like the happiest, you know, holiday for the nerds, because that's when you get all that extra cool stuff. Like, usually, you know, growing up as a nerd when you're a little kid, some of your best nerd nomenclature was acquired during a, you know, fervorous Christmas morning of unwrapping gifts. You know, you got some of the best games on Christmas. You got some of the best game consoles on Christmas. They usually put some of the best stuff out around Christmas. And of course, they charge you an arm and an extra leg for it just because, you know, they know you're more likely to buy it around Christmas time. However, I digress. It is still one of the happiest times in the year for nerds. Happiest times in near. It is happy times in there because New Year's is also coming up. But I definitely can say that, you know, some of my favorite video games I got on Christmas. Even back to my board game days I got on Christmas. I think I might have read my first comic book around Christmas time, just being on Christmas break from school. So that was definitely awesome. Plus, Christmas is the time that I usually caught up on all the TV shows that I didn't have time to catch up. You know, like if I missed episodes and stuff, they usually like to run a couple marathons, you know, as the holidays approach. And also, I also love Christmas because on TV, you know, since nobody's watching, most channels just will sit there and run like the same movie back to back, or same handful of movies back to back or whatever. And they usually are like movies that happen to be in my favorites list, especially the Christmas movies like A Christmas Story, A Christmas Carol. I think A Christmas Story. That's the one where that's the one where the kid licked the flagpole and the tongue got stuck to the middle pole, right? That was one of the most hilarious moments I can remember when watching movies, because I remember my cousin was the one that told me, you know, about this whole thing going on TV or whatever, and we were watching that movie, and I had never seen it before that time, and she showed me, and when his tongue got stuck to that pole, I was like, oh my God, I can't believe that actually happened. And part of me wanted to go outside and lick a pole just to see if it would happen, but then I was like, well, if it does happen, I don't know what I would do. I've never been in a situation where my tongue was stuck into something that I could not get it out of. That's a perplexing situation for me. That's what we call a perplexing Pegasus right there, as Ray Shrimmer would call it. But yeah, like, also I'm like not big into germs and stuff, so yeah, not a big purveyor of licking strange ass objects and shit. And another thing that kind of prevented that from happening is that I live in Georgia, and although if you've been here for the last 2 weeks, you wouldn't fucking know it, but it doesn't really usually get that cold around this time of year. However, all my Georgia dwellers can attest to the fact that we had an insane amount of snow a couple of weeks ago, and it shut the state down. It does every time. It only ever snows like that every blue moon in Georgia, but it really came down this year. I mean, man, it looked like Colorado outside. I was actually stuck in the house for a day. Cause yeah, it shuts the city down. It shuts the state down. We don't know what to do when it snows. It never snows here. We ain't prepared. No one's ready for it to snow. Most of us have grown up hoping it would snow around December, giving us a white Christmas type of thing. We don't never get one. The last time there was a white Christmas in Georgia, I was 3 years old. It was 1993. It was that long ago where it snowed as much as it snowed those couple of days a few weeks ago. And the snow is still outside right now. So it's been cold since then, so there's snow still outside. In case you didn't want to believe it, hey, fucking snowed a couple days ago. But the crazy thing is, me growing up here, wishing it would snow like that again and never getting it, and then the day it finally does snow, I'm irritated as can be. It's messing up my work because I'm getting to work late and having to stay late, and I'm ready to go home. I'm tired, hungry, irritable. However, 'tis the season to be jolly or whatever. So, definitely in a better mood right now, according to Urban Nerd Weekly. I'm digging, this show right now. I definitely want to thank all the people that have listened to the first 2 episodes. The listener count is growing as I put more episodes out, so that's giving me a little bit more encouragement to continue. And plus, I just love recording podcasts in general. Anybody that's been following me knows this is not my first podcast. And, I've definitely been waiting a minute to do this one just so I could, get it right more so than the ones I've done previously. And I think it's going well. And if you agree, then, be sure to let me know so I can, know to keep on trucking. But that does bring me into what I was going to talk about, which is awesome Christmas memories. One of the first ones I do want to bring up is when it snowed back in 93. That was probably the closest thing we ever had to a blizzard in Georgia. And yeah, I was 3 years old, man, and it snowed so much. It was snowing on Christmas. It was snow outside on Christmas. That was the awesome part. So we actually got to enjoy it. I remember actually being outside. I was like 3 years old, so my parents were still together. And, we were outside making snow angels. We had a snowball fight. And we also made a snowman, just like, in the movies and stuff. It was really awesome. So that's awesome Christmas memory number one. Another great Christmas memory. I can't remember how old I was. I think I was maybe like 9 or 10. And it was just the entire Christmas break that was awesome this particular year. Me and my dad and my sister, that's, I was living with at the time, my dad and my older sister. And we was living in Couch Park. We got up and decorated the tree and, well, not like on Christmas. We decorated the tree as soon as Christmas break hit, I think. And listened to all kind of Christmas music. That was one of the first years I can remember. Like, we had this one Christmas CD that had all these Christmas songs on it. And one of the songs on there was Santa Claus is Coming to Town by the Jackson 5, which is by far one of my favorite Christmas songs. I have to listen to that song at least once a year around Christmas time, or else it just doesn't count to me. You know what I mean? And that's, that's one of those things that's like one of my personal Christmas traditions is to just listen to that song, because it always makes me think back to that Christmas and that Christmas break. And, me and my sister, my dad balled out on us that Christmas, man. Woke up, I think it actually took us like an hour to open all of our presents that year. It was that crazy. My stepmom, at that point, her and my dad were at the beginning of their relationship, but I think she came over and cooked for us and everything, man. It was awesome. I was a stuffed pig. And we were eating ham. So I was a stuffed pig eating ham. That's America. That's beautiful. Oh yeah. But anyway, that's another awesome Christmas memory. Another one I definitely gotta bring up. I got a bunch more, but I'm gonna bring up this one more. Just because, I don't want to, over talk just about my Christmas experience. But a couple of years ago, actually, was a pretty awesome Christmas. I got this gamer chair. My dad had got me some tickets to go see Cat Williams. Me and him went and saw Cat Williams live. It was awesome. It was that show where he dissed Kevin Hart or whatever and Ludacris. It was awesome. It was a great show. The whole show was great. Cat put it down like always. But Red Grant did a great job at hosting. Mark Curry was there from Hanging with Mr. Cooper. So that was definitely some 90s nostalgia for me that I was excited about. Seeing Hanging with Mr. Cooper doing stand-up, and he was fucking hilarious. He had me and my dad up in there crying, laughing. And then there's a couple more people there. They were all hilarious. And this one white dude that was there, he was really funny, but I really wish I would have followed him on Twitter or something like that so I could remember his name. But I can't remember his name. He was hilarious though. And I'll put that as that's one of the two best Christmas presents I definitely got on the same Christmas. Outside of once I got 2 cell phones. I had 2 cell phones at the same time one Christmas for a little while. And of course, I can't say awesome Christmas gifts without the first time I ever had an iPod. I had the iPod Red. If anybody remembers the little Red series of technology that came out for a little while that was supposed to be helping fight AIDS or whatever. I don't know if they really used that money for that. I haven't done my research, but that's what they said. And red's my favorite color, so my mom went with it, and I was so happy. She even got some words on the back inscribed "Keep them laughing." That was one of my favorite Christmas presents. It was an iPod. I had wanted one for a really long time. My mom found, she got me one. I was excited. Mom always gets me awesome Christmas presents. Mom got me the Game Boy Color when it came out with all Pokemon Red, Pokemon Yellow, Pokemon Blue, Pokemon Crystal, Pokemon Gold, Pokemon Silver. So I guess I don't really have to, go ahead and tell y'all that, yeah, Pokemon was one of my earlier nerd interests. And it was definitely fostered and fed through because of Christmas time. I had Pokemon cards galore because got them on Christmas. I had the whole Pokemon little notebook, for the notebook card holder. It was like a little Trapper Keeper. You know what I'm saying? Had me, my special edition holographic cards. All that, man. Used to trade them with my cousins and my friends at school, And I guess that's when I started realizing I always been a person, like, when it came to, like, my nerd stuff, I always like to choose sides. Cause I never got into Yu-Gi-Oh! I used to watch it, and I liked the show, but I never got into, like, Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards. I was always, like, a die-hard Pokemon card, like, player. So when, the fad kind of faded out, I was just like, okay, well, I'm just gonna stick with my Pokemon cards, where everybody else moves on to other things. But that in and of itself is kind of like indicative of how nerdiness is. Like, like Donald Glover said, it's strange, specific stuff. It's not always the thing that's the biggest craze that everybody's into. It's like it's the thing that you are really, really into. You know what I mean? And of course, the Pokemon Game Boy Color and Game Boy Advance games was like, yeah, perfect. Just I could sit there for hours and play. Like I remember I would go to my mom's house and I would get there and the sun would be up. And I would just start playing Pokemon on my Game Boy. And by the time I looked up again, it was like 2 o'clock in the morning and my mom was like trying to make me go to sleep. Because she wouldn't let me stay up all night and just play video games and junk, So she used to always like make me stop and go to sleep, get something to eat. And then like I would hurry up and I would like force myself to go to sleep just so I could hurry up and wake back up and play some more, because I was always at one part of the game. Because that's how Pokemon games are. There's always that one part of the game, like every so often, that's just gonna have you stuck for like a day or 2 or 6 months, and it just pisses you off, but you gotta keep playing because that's the only way you get to the next level of the game. It really sucks, but that is really how the game goes, Another great nerd thing about Christmas is, just like how they play a lot of Christmas movies on a lot of channels, they play a lot of like great like cult classics and nerd favorites around Christmas time, because it's they just play like marathons and stuff, like it's just like how a lot of people do like their Twitter streams or their YouTube pages, like just keep pushing out content, just to keep the people fed until like they bring out that new stuff. And that's like a lot of times how you get to see like the Star Wars marathons. So that's like actually one of the times, I'll go ahead and bring that up as another great Christmas memory. Was I'm pretty sure that the first time I seen like the first 6 Star Wars movies in series, like in a row, was like during the Christmas break, and they were playing it, I believe, on the Sci-Fi channel. And I remember me and my dad had watched it actually together, so that was like great father-son memory or whatever. Because me and my dad also used to watch a lot of that was our thing. We used to watch like kung fu movies and like nerdy classics like Star Wars, and cult classics like Half-Baked and stuff like that. And around Christmas time was just the time of year where he's off work, I'm out of school, and and then eventually that became the time where like me and my whole family would bond is during the Christmas break, because once my stepmom, my stepsister came in the picture, and we're all the Brady Bunch of the hood. Like, you get off on Christmas and everybody's out of school and work, and that's really the only time of year that y'all really, really, get to spend those whole days together. You know what I mean? And just, relax and vibe out. like if you ever anybody follow me on Instagram, Instagram.com/space was here, just like the website SPAYCEWUZHERE. Let me get my follower count up. But every year, you know, around the holiday season, y'all always gonna see pictures of me and my folks, like we all eating good, you know what I'm saying, just celebrating one another. You know, get drunk and be merry. It's a celebration, bitches. But yeah, man. And not to mention, you know, I was getting into telling you guys about how one of my favorite nerd like interests is like Dragon Ball Z. That was also one of the video games I got one Christmas, was one of the Dragon Ball Z games. And I remember like me and my buddies just sitting there like having talked about it for weeks and weeks and weeks, and me not even thinking that there was a chance I was gonna get that game. And what do you know? Unwrapping on Christmas. And I probably didn't stop playing that game until the next summer after that. Only because I had another game that I hadn't touched that I had needed to start making some progress on. But yeah, man, that's some of my favorite nerdy Christmas memories. Like I said, man, everybody, I love to hear your or read your Christmas memories. Leave in the comments below on SoundCloud, soundcloud.com/UrbanNerdWeekly, or spacewashere.com, SPAYCEWUZHERE.com. You know, that's where you can always go to get everything. You know, that's how you can follow me on my social media, my Twitter, my Facebook, my Instagram. Make sure you guys are, if you aren't subscribed to the show yet, please subscribe on Google Play Music, on iTunes, or just follow me on the SoundCloud. Or if you already have your own preferred podcast directory that you like to listen to things to, I know a lot of people use like Stitcher, TuneIn, Spreaker, Blueberry, Acast, you know, wherever you do have, you know, wherever you guys are listening to podcasts, though, just know that you can just search Urban Nerd Weekly. And there's a really good chance that you'll find it on now. I you know, made sure that I made the show available for everybody and made it easily accessible. You know, but like I said, if you're on my website, there's a post on there that says subscribing to Urban Nerd Weekly, and it shows you the 4 most popular ways. And yeah, I have other ways on there if you want to subscribe to a different way. And be sure to look out for my YouTube channel coming out really soon. I'm gonna have a lot of parodies, a lot of new skits coming out, and plus I'm gonna be doing my vlog thing on there. You know what I'm saying, kind of. And then I'll have some stuff that'll coincide with the podcast, Urban Nerd Weekly. So, you know, just stay tuned, guys. I got a lot of great stuff coming in 2018. As a matter of fact, the next episode that you guys will hear will be the first episode of 2018, because it'll be on Tuesday, which will be the day after New Year's. So, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to you guys, and I'll see you next year.